Good afternoon. Welcome. Ah, let me press the right buttons here. Okay, welcome. I had a text message just as I was ready to hit the button from a school boy who was doing some yard work for me, and I had to answer it so he would know that I still want him to come today. Um, Anyway, let me know if you are here. Welcome to Pat's Stamping Place. That's what it's called on YouTube anyway. Um, Pat Mayer, Akron, Ohio, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm looking to make sure I've got all my buttons pushed because something went wrong the last time. Hey Shirley, welcome. Um, okay, so now I know someone's here. That's good to know. Oh goodness. Why do things always get kind of messed up at the last minute? So anyway, but I'm glad he texted me so I could get back to him real good, really fast. Um, hey Rose, welcome. Thank you. And Gloria, you're watching. Gloria, I think this is probably something that you like with the fancy flowers. I think you're going to love this. I think everybody's going to love this. Anyway, um, let me get started because in case he's here shortly after 4 o'clock, I'd like to go out there and greet him or whatever. Um, so if you saw what I posted, I believe it showed up on Facebook, that I'm showing what are they called? I talked about it all day here in my brain. Paper Florist Dies today. And these are what I would consider missed the first time you go through that new catalog, because I sure did. And then I started seeing some things and I thought, whoa, where did those come from? Um, so the Paper Florist dies are awesome. They're a standalone die, and that means that they will go with any stamp set, any set of sentiments that you might think of. Let me get rid of that. You can shop with me at patmayer.stampinup.net. I'll take that away. Um, and that's what makes them so fun. They can be 3D, add to a box, or some special item. You can make home decor with it. So if you're not hey Jane Bone, welcome. Um, so let's flip down to my desktop. There we go. And obviously we're into almost, golly, 3 weeks into the new catalog, I guess. And if you paid any attention to the back of this gorgeous catalog, where all the good information is, you see the beautiful daisies, which I showcased a few weeks ago, or maybe even before the catalog went live. The daisies are great, but you might think, where did these other flowers come from? And they are from the Paper Florist Dies. And they are on, let's see, I've got my page numbers here. Back here with all of the dies that don't necessarily go with a stamp set. Some of them used to go with a stamp set and be bundled. So once they're not bundled, they end up over in this section called Detailed Die Cuts. So some of these used to be bundled before. Now they're not, so they're here. But the Paper Florist is here on page 165. I'm also going to show the Nested Essentials dies today because we lost, sadly, I think we always sound like they went away, they retired, some of our favorite shape dies, and the Nested Essentials is certainly something that I think you might want to add to your stash. And both of these dies can be used with the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So those are both on page 165 that I'm going to show today. But when you look at the Paper Florist, it says, see these dies in use on page one, no, not one, on page 33. So when you go back to page 33, there we are, it's stuck. You see these big words, and maybe that's what you focus on. I mean, we always like to look at the samples, but if you didn't really focus on those, you wouldn't know exactly where they're from. But it does say Paper Florist Dies, page 165, and all of those dies are $37. So it's just chock full of good stuff. So let me showcase these for you. Okay, first of all, these are the dies. There are 18 of them. Now, a couple of them are double, so you get two of the same thing. This one and this one here for centers of your flowers. And then here you have little tulip head, tulip buds, and the tulip stem, 3 leaves. This is a flower, and this cuts out, these are really unique. This cuts out 3 of these petals. They're rather large. 3 of these petals at one time. This cuts out 2, and this cuts out 4. So even though there's a lot of cranking there, you can get all of those at one time. And then, as I said, these are the centers, and then I'll show you what this one does. Put those aside. So here they are, all cut out. So I've got all of the flowers in white and the centers in white. And then here are the leaves. Here are these tulips. And then you just color these whatever you want and insert them into that little stem for the tulips. And then this thing is what this is made out of. And let me show you one. Okay, this is my little treasure chest of things that I punched out this morning. And notice that most of them are in white, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this is, let's see, this is 5, 1, 2, 3. This is 5 of those large petals glued together. And I'm going to show you something about those in a minute, even though I'm not actually going to use this on the card today that I'm going to make, and then I have other samples to show you too. But this thing is what this is, and you wrap it around your pokey tool or anything that is small and narrow, and wrap that around to get the center. Now, if you're making a larger flower, you could do more than one of those at a time. So that's what that is, and then you just put a little bit of glue there at the end. So here is one like this, and all you would do is give it a little twist with your bone folder first, and then I've got this little pokey tool here that I use, and start wrapping it around. Then you can actually do it by hand. But anyway, that's what that is. So it's a very, very clever set. And admittedly, it does take a little bit of time, but if you've got a whole bunch of them punched out or die cut out, and that's what I did today, then you can make them at your leisure, and they are fun to put together. So let's get started with some things that I think you will want to have with this that I would suggest in your stash of things. Your Take the Pick tool is really very, I wouldn't say essential, but definitely will help you pick up some of those small pieces. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that again in a minute. And these tweezers, these will hold your item while you add glue. And these tweezers are on page 136. They are part of the embossing additions kit. So thinking that it goes with the embossing folder. Right, Gloria, it is like you're quilling. Forgot about that. So this will hold it while you're adding glue to the back. And I just really, really like these. Love them. Let's see, let's put that over here. And if you're doing a lot of gluing, if you don't have a silicone craft sheet, I strongly recommend that you have that because your glue will come right off. Because if you're doing a home decor item, you might even want to use a hot glue gun to glue some of these things together. And hot glue just rolls off of there like butter. And this just washes up in your sink. This has glittery stuff on it too. So this is a great thing to add to your toolkit. But back to the Take Your Pick. We now have a new product in the catalog on page 145. And this is the new Take Your Pick Crafter Tips. And there are 3 new things in here. And one of them is, now let's look back at the Take Your Pick tool. Okay, you've got a pokey tool here that has the pokey end on one end, and then a spatula on the other end. And that just twists right in there. Okay, then on this other end, we also have a brush tool too, is your putty. And then that unscrews and goes back in there like that. But there are 2 new tools. Should have had these popped out. And it's a craft knife. Very sharp. It's like an X-Acto knife. And that screws into there too. So in some cases, you might even want to have 2 Take Your Pick tools. Okay, so that goes in there. And then this one would go at the other end. And this is going to pop out when you have all those real tiny pieces that come out of your dies that you don't want to take the brush over because it's too delicate. This looks like something in a dentist office. There we go. And with a nice cap on it too, so it's safe. And then another pokey tool at the end of this. And then the last thing, which would be great for making a bookmark. Let's put this back on here like this. And that is a perforating tool. And there's a little guard here so that you don't cut yourself on there. So even though it is only doing the corrugating, is that what I want to say? Yeah. It is very sharp. And that also fits in this end. So if you wanted to make a bookmark card, you could pull this down, use a ruler. Let me see if I have a piece of paper I can demonstrate with a, let's grab a scrap here. A self-healing mat would be good with this, but you just kind of roll that along there, and you've got a perforation. I wasn't pressing very hard, but it does work, because I didn't want to go through this. But you get a perforation on there for let's say you want to make a ticket, something. So there you got that. So it's a nice addition to your Take a Pick family of products. Okay, so let's get going on the, let's put that there. On this card, I do have some things already cut out and ready to go. Let's put things away. One of my goals is to put things away, because I believe I will leave these in their little box and pull them out as I need them. And it does go back in the box. Okay, so what else am I doing today? Let's get that out of the way. I've got a card design all set and ready to go. And I'm using some new paper that is called Inked Botanicals. It's on page 95. I don't have the stamp set or the bundle that goes with the paper, but I like the paper. What is it that we like about paper? It is 6 by 6, and the colors are Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. And that, I love that, having that to look forward to know what colors will go together. And I love, love, love this paper. So I have chosen this paper. Okay, it's Lost Lagoon on one side, one of our returning colors. And here we've got the Crushed Curry in the other. So I'm going to use this one on a basic white card base, and this is going to be just a portrait card. And this is one of the rounded rectangles, that's what I'm calling it, from the Nested Essentials, and that's going to go on here like this. And now I'm going to create some flowers, and this is going to go on the inside. And I've already decorated the envelope a little bit. So let's take a look at these flowers. And the reason that I like to keep them white, because I can color them whatever color I want. Or maybe I was just lazy and I just had some white scraps and I just ran those through, and I would have them for whatever color I want. So let's make these leaves Lost Lagoon. And you can also, that way you can variegate your colors a little bit. So I'm going to get all these things colored that you see up here in front of me. And I'm using my green blending brush. So let's tap that in here. Tap it off to get some of that ink off. And this is also where you can use your tweezers or your Take a Pick tool to hold that down and get some color on there. So we've still got a little bit of white and the green. And let's do the same thing with this one. So it makes the leaves look a little bit more variegated as well. And notice on this particular leaf, you do have some of that perforating. And that way you can bend up the leaf a little bit to add some more dimension when you put the card together. So there we've got our leaves done. And I will show you how that large flower goes together. So don't let me forget to show you how to do that. Okay, now this is the one that had the 4, 2 small, 2 large. That's this one. And I'm going to make those petal pink. So I hope you had a good weekend. We had some kind of ugly weather on Saturday, but it turned out to be a nice late afternoon day. Then yesterday was a gorgeous day. So we're still getting some of those kind of cool nights. Actually, down here in my basement, I've got my sweatshirt jacket on again because I'm chilly. And you don't have to be real precise on these because that's the way flowers are in nature. Okay, so that's done. And let's see, let's make this one we'll make this one the crushed curry. So I'll grab my yellow brush. Sometimes you can just tap the color on there too. Kind of to get a little mottled look. No matter what, it's going to look good. And then this next one, this daisy one that looks like where did it go? Did I not put it on there? I guess I forgot to put it on there. It's this one. Okay, this one I'm going to leave white and then put a colored center in there. So I'm going to color these centers. This one's going to be yellow. And I better hold that one down a little bit. There we go. So that's going to go there. And then that's going to be white. And I've got 2 of these tiny ones. These are real tiny. And those I'm going to leave white as well. All right. So I think we've got our coloring done. So I didn't use Calypso Coral or Pool Party. It was part of the color palette from that paper. So now let's do some gluing. And this is where the silicone mat comes in handy. So let's get this up here. So what I'm going to do first is just add a little dot of glue to the center of the flowers first. Just kind of let them sit there. And I don't know if you knew this, but if you let your adhesive, your liquid adhesive, sit for a little bit, it becomes a little bit more tacky and won't ooze out as much. Okay, so let's see what we've got on this one. So how it's going to get arranged. So I'm just going to offset the flowers like this. You can build it up as much as you want. Okay, so let's add. You could also use glue dots if you like. Okay, on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and put that one together. You don't need very much. But using the liquid glue does give you some wiggle room. And then you can kind of massage those a little bit if you want to add more dimension to your project. And let's see, that's the one I think I wanted to put the yellow one. Do I want to put the white one in there? Okay, I think I'm going to put the yellow one in there. And with some of these centers, you can also offset those and make even a small flower with them too. So there's that. And let's take these two. Maybe I won't need, maybe I'll need that one for that one. That's right. See how easy it is to change your mind. This is kind of a wonky little flower. I'm not sure but what it's supposed to be, but when you offset it, it looks kind of cute. I better set it down here instead of trying to do it up in the air. There we go. There, that looks pretty cute. And there's our two leaves. And let's come back and put these together. And these look like a little daisy. So this is my way of not having to water flowers or have them die on me. So this is good. I got a hanging basket the other day, and I hope I don't let it die. Okay. Let's put this in the center. Tweezers would be good here. There's also a smaller one, which is probably what I should have chosen for that, but it's already ready to go, so there we go. And then let's put this little white one in the center of this. That's where the take your pick tool comes in handy. and a little dot of glue there. So there we go. So here are 3 flowers that we're going to put on the card in a minute. We've got our leaves colored. So while those are kind of setting up, let me show you how these larger ones go together. Okay, you get 3 of them at a time on that die cut, and you'll see that there is a slit in the middle. Okay, the slit is not for putting them together, so it's not for that, although you probably could if you wanted to make more of a flat card, or excuse me, a flat flower. But this is designed to, let's kind of massage it a little bit. Designed to put some adhesive, whether it's a glue dot or some liquid adhesive, and put that on one of those little flaps. And hold that down. Okay, it doesn't take long for it to pop in there. Okay, another one here. So it takes about 5 or 6 of these to make one of those larger flowers. And just kind of hold it together for a couple seconds. All right, whoop, that one didn't hold. Okay, and at this point then my fingers are sticky too, so because with that slit there, you've got some wiggle room on how far you want to carry that over. And that one didn't go very far because my fingers are sticky. See if I can get some of that stickiness off. Okay, and then what you can do is to take one of those centers and build it on a base, or punch out one of your circle punches and put that on a base so that you can build that flower. I don't know if I have one of those large pieces left or not in my little stash here. So here we go. So you could add glue here and here, and yes, there's enough glue on the back of that it's actually doing. Yes, it is a cute flower set rose. It has lots and lots of opportunities. I'm thinking of framed. I've got a lot of frames where you could make a design for that, or a wreath. And then it needs a couple more petals on it there, but that's where one of those things can go down in it. So you can just kind of play with flowers to your heart's content. Okay, let's put our card together. Need the glue again and put the lid on that. All right, so here's our card. This is similar to my prototype that I made, and then I'll show you. I've got 3 samples to show you. So this is going to be, make sure it's going to open the right way. This is going to go on here like this. So I will go ahead and glue that on. Make sure my flowers there are going in the right direction, or stems, or whatever they are. I love the Lost Lagoon. I'm so glad that it came back as one of our core colors. And let's put this on the inside. Also make sure it's going in the right direction. That's always a good way to use up little strips of your designer paper to add some whoops, that glue sticks on there, to add something to the inside of your card. Or you could go down along the side if your dimension is right. Okay, grab some scissors. Okay, on this one, on my sample, I used one of these. This looks like believe it was the tailored tag die set that we had before. So now it's going to go with this one, but on this card, I'm using the largest one of these. So I'll put it over here a little bit to the right so I can offset it. And I have chosen to put hello here, which I'll stamp in a minute. And that came from the Tropical Leaf stamp set, and this is one of the online exclusives. I did a video with this one quite a while ago, maybe 6 weeks perhaps, and it comes with a punch, and it's a beautiful, beautiful set. But I love the fonts here, and I love the sentiments and the font. All right, let's put this together. And then we'll put a little bow on it and some bling. Okay, let's put this one here in the center. I'm just going to kind of lay them out first to see how I want it to go. What do you think? Don't forget the leaves. And then this would be flat enough that you could put it in the mail without worrying about additional postage. Okay, what do you think? And then there's room to put hello there. So I better stamp that first, and I'll use Lost Lagoon. I always like to stamp it first to make sure it doesn't have any little halo on it. And there's that. You could use dimensionals to pop these up, but I think they have enough dimension of their own. And then you can curl those up a little bit, even though they will probably flatten out in an envelope, but that's okay. Okay, let's add a little bit of glue to this. Let's grab these tweezers. And I only need a little bit here at the bottom. I think my glue thing needs to be wiped off. Okay, that's going there. And before I get too much further, let's go ahead and glue this down. Now, wouldn't that be cute just like that? As a little name tag? Oh, I love that. So let's glue that down before I get to the point where I can't undo something. Put some glue in the center of this one. And some glue here. Excuse me. I thought I could feel a sneeze coming on. And let's add this one. There, and then this. You can just kind of play around with these. It's so much fun. I'm gonna love, love, love this set of dies. So now let's add some butterflies. I'm so glad the brushed brass butterflies did stay around. And let's put a little one up here in the there, and I think we need a little bow. So this comes from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I like to take a long piece and double it. This is a little bit darker than the linen thread. So let's see if I got my loops going the right way here. There we go. snip this part. Okay, not the best bow. Bows are always hard to tie when I'm doing them live, but it still looks good. We need to cut that off. And that is really a wonky bow. Okay, I may take that off and do it again, but that's okay. And let's see, let's put that right here along the bottom. What would we do without liquid glue? And that holds pretty good once it gets dried. So there we go. Paper Florist, pretty flowers. And hang on, I will show you my other ones. I have one that is just stinking cute. It was inspired by something I saw from a card that was put on Pinterest several years ago. And I thought, oh, that's perfect for this. So just wait till you see it. Okay, this is today's card. Here was my original prototype that I did using the other design from the Nested Essentials. And that one came out, I liked that one a lot, but I didn't want to do exactly the same thing. So there's that one. Warm Hello came from the circle stamp set. This is one I did this morning. Thank you, Shirley. And yes, it does look like summer, Rose. Those flowers are growing. And then this one I'm not so sure about. It was inspired by something I saw where you can cut a circle out of the side. It's okay. I like it, but it has no layers of the flowers. I just left them flat. But you can still pull them up. So there's that one. Then this one is the one that I think is so cute. And I just cut a circle from Stylish Shapes. And this paper is, what is this paper? This is the new Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper, 6x6. And it comes in Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, which is what this one is, Lemon Lime Twist, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. And these are these colors. Gingham is always so popular and so much fun just to add something cute. And then I took the tulips, Granny Apple Green, and then I colored white with Real Red Stampin' Blend to get those. And just glued those in there, added a little dimensional behind the largest flower, and then did just a note from, forget which stamp set I used on there. So there's that. So I want to thank you for hanging in with me today for almost 50 minutes, and enjoy the rest of your week. I will say next Monday is the celebration of Memorial Day, and I haven't decided yet whether I will be live next Monday or put it off until evening, because I am going to a picnic in the afternoon, and I don't want to have to be the one that says, I gotta go. So I may do, next Monday, do an evening live when picnics are kind of settling down and so on and so forth. So let's go back there to my face. So I will probably post something on Facebook about what my decision will be. So there will probably be something. I may also pre-record and have it at the same time. So at whatever, there will be something next Monday. I just don't know exactly when it will be. So have a great rest of the week. Enjoy. I think the weather, at least in Ohio, is supposed to be gorgeous. And get all those things planted. I don't think we're going to have any more freezes. So take care. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.